Your organizational culture reinforces shame or demystifies shame. Welcome to Thank God It's a Story Saturday, a weekly video series where I share stories with you that you can use to make your messages connect. Today's story is a story from this book that I'm currently reading. It is called I Thought It Was Just Me, But It Isn't by Dr. Brene Brown. And the story is about edamame beans. Now, don't worry. Thank God It's a Story Saturday is not becoming a cooking show. It is still an organizational storytelling video series. But the story is about edamame beans. Now, Brene Brown and her husband Steve were invited by some of the acquaintances that they had over for a dinner. And when they went there, the host served an appetizer, which was in a large silver bowl, and there were some beans in it. Brene Brown had never seen these beans before, so she thought what the hosts wanted was for them, the guests, to open the beans up and so that they could be prepared for dinner. She looked at the bowl and she looked at the hosts and she said, "Really? What is it?" The hosts looked back at her and said, "What do you mean, what is it? They're edamame beans. And have you never had them? Have you never eaten Japanese food?" So Brene Brown at this stage started to feel a little bit ashamed that she didn't know what is probably meant to be common knowledge. And later on, the host went around telling other guests in the party that they had never had edamame beans, and she just wanted to leave the party and come back home. She felt so ashamed. Now, 2 weeks later, Brene Brown had fallen in love with edamame beans and was actually eating them all the time as her snack. So she was in university, and one of the students wanted to, come into her office and discuss something with her. So the student knocked the door and walked in and saw the edamame beans in Brene Brown's bag and said, "What is that?" In that moment, that entire episode that she had experienced in the party went through her mind, and she did the perfect shift, the shame. She turned around and said to the student, "Of course they're edamame beans. Haven't you tried them?" And she says that, she just completely shifted the shame onto the student. And just before the student left, she said to the student, "I can't believe you didn't know what they were. They're really healthy. They're the new superfood. You must try them." But she reflected upon that and asked herself, why did she do that? It wasn't that she wanted to sound smarter and sound like more aware and more intelligent than her student, but knowing about Japanese food and culture was somehow associated with class. And class is a huge shame trigger. So, what is the point? Why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story is because a lot of the organizations are right now at the point where there's a lot of new things that are coming in. Digital transformation, artificial intelligence, RPA, automation, smart initiatives, new ways of working. There's a lot that your people won't know. And the choice to whether reinforce the shame or shift shame or to demystify it is completely yours. It's really the culture that you set up. One of my mentors gave me a perfect way to demystify shame. So once my mentor was talking to me about some subject and I didn't know anything about it. And he turned around and said to me, "Don't worry, you don't come from this field. There is no reason why you should know this. Let me explain to you." He did that to me. And the very next day, I did something to my friend. I was telling my friend about a certain TED Talk. And she turned around and said to me, "What is a TED Talk?" And rather than saying, "Don't you know what is a TED Talk?" I said to her, "It's all right if you don't know. You're not from the field that I come from, and not everybody's interested in TED Talks. So let me tell you what is a TED Talk." So please do not reinforce shame, demystify shame if you really want to see a change happen in your organization. Stay storied, and I will see you here next Saturday with another story.